And remember, there are plenty of resources out there to help you find time to explore and read, like Blinkist.com and Audible.com. So you don't really have an excuse not to get started. And I promise your willingness to learn and implement new strategies will make the world of difference in your business and life outside the office. Hey there, you're listening to the Priority Pursuit Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping small business owners and leaders define, maintain, and pursue both their personal and business priorities so they can build lives and businesses they love. And I'm your host, Kelly Rice, and today we're diving into something that can truly help you grow your business, which is simply never stop learning. And to be fair, when I heard this as a younger business owner, I honestly, it went in one ear and out the other. But boy, do I wish that I would have listened to this golden nugget of advice a lot sooner than I did. And this is because I've had the honor of being surrounded by some really, really great people who fed into my life and business. And the one thing they all have in common is that they continually seek out opportunities to learn, and then they share that knowledge with others. So today I would love to share 5 books with you that have taught me some really big lessons or helped develop systems within my own business. But before you decide to stop listening, simply because I said that we're going to talk about books and you're not a reader, just hold on a second. I wasn't either. So I had to figure out what worked for me and then make learning a priority. And really, there are so many different resources out there that can make it so much more easier to explore books like Blinkist.com and Audible, which I'll link in the show notes for you later. But I will tell you that Blinkist is my favorite because the app, it gives you detailed summaries of hundreds, if not like thousands of books in what they call blinks. And if you have ADD like me, you can like quickly listen to or read what they call blinks, and they last anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes. But the reason that I love them so much is that because I can listen to a blink about a book and get a really good understanding and a summary and kind of like an overarching message of all the techniques that are taught in the book, and then determine if it's something that I really want to like dive in and read or listen to fully on somewhere like Audible. Cause I do listen to a lot of books as I drive because I'm driving all the time. And then if I choose not to purchase the book or listen to it because of the blink, at least, I got the gist of what the book was, and you can take a few takeaways. So if you're old like me, if you remember Cliff Notes from 100 years ago, it's basically the same thing, but it works for me. So just because you're not a reader doesn't mean that you can't get this in. So using this technique really has saved me countless hours of reading books that I thought would be beneficial, but really didn't provide the insight or information that I thought they would. Plus based on on your search history or whatever you're reading, the app actually recommends books that you should consider reading the blinks to. And that's been really helpful for me to discover new authors and topics that I honestly probably wouldn't have sought after, to read on my own. So you don't have to sit down and read to actually get value out of a book. So hear me out. All you really need to do is find a book reader like Audible and simply listen when you're working or sitting in your car waiting to pick up kids from school or practice. Because if you're like me, you're always going somewhere. Do it while you're driving. Just pop your AirPods in and then listen while you're doing, dang near anything, I think. So you don't need to make it hard. You just need to make it a priority. So, okay. With that lecture about reading and learning a priority, let's review the top 5 books that have made such an impact on my life and business. So the first one is Company of One by Paul Jarvis. And we've actually talked about this in previous episodes. And it's a more recent recommendation from my friend Travis, who runs Honest Podcast. And it is a game changer, especially for those of us who feel pressured to constantly grow and expand. And this is because the author challenges the notion that bigger is always better. Instead, he advocates for staying small and lean, which can actually be more profitable and fulfilling. So while I was reading the book, I felt like the author was saying everything that I had learned over the past 20 plus years, especially about how staying small on purpose presented so many more opportunities to grow as a business, to develop and support my staff, and then really find a stronger work-life balance, because a lot of us small business owners were terrible at the whole work-life balance thing. So, and I think that I felt what he was saying so deeply because every small business owner, I feel like, is taught, or we just assume that scaling and expanding are the ultimate indicators of success. But reality, it's not true for all of us. And for the record, I do want to say that there's nothing wrong with scaling or building a business if that's what you want. I just want you to know that you don't have to do that in order to be successful. And I know this firsthand because in 2016, I tried growing the exponential route by increasing staff and hiring a salesperson and really looking to get to the next level. But I had no idea what I was doing. I was just going off the bigger is better mentality. And I just thought that's what I needed to do to help Tree Frog grow. But it actually turned out to be the absolute worst decision that I've made for Tree Frog. And I talk about this journey in episode 155, Bigger Doesn't Always Mean Better. So if you want to go back and listen to that lesson learned the hard way, I'll link it in the show notes if you want to listen to the whole story. But I know many of you listening might feel the same pressure as I did. Like you need to keep expanding to be seen as successful. But if you want to stay small, you can work to streamline your operations and focus on what truly matters to your customers, which will drive results. It will build stronger profits for you, and it will help you enjoy a better work-life balance. So I highly recommend this book. Okay. Next one is How to Grow Your Small Business by Donald Miller. And if you've listened to this podcast, you know that Victoria and I are both really big fans of Miller's story brand framework. And this book really is no different because it provides a clear roadmap for growth, focusing on practical strategies that you can implement right away. And one of the biggest parts of this book from a marketing perspective is the emphasis on identifying your ideal audience, clarifying your messaging, and then creating systems to effectively reach your best customers with content and offers that they actually want, not just stuff that you think that they want to know. And if you listen to even one of the episodes of this podcast, there's a chance that Victoria or I brought up how important it is to clarify your messaging through creating marketing guiding statements. And you need to do this literally before you determine anything else, like what social platforms you should be on or how much money you should spend or put towards Google ads, building a new website, or anything else marketing related. Because if you don't clarify your messaging first, you're literally wasting your time and money. And this book helps you understand the reasons why we're so passionate about this. Plus, it gives a solid breakdown of how to build and sustain a small business. And personally, I found the financial portion of this book to be very helpful because as a small business owner, no one really breaks this down in an understandable way before, we start a business.
What would you do with an extra 45 minutes every workday? That would save you 16 hours a month or roughly 8 days a year. And over the course of your career, we're talking about over 1 year of your life saved. All that time back. Well, many independent business owners spend far more than 45 minutes a day on administrative tasks. And with Handbook, you can get that time back and then some. Handbook lets you easily manage projects, contracts, invoices, scheduling, and client communication, saving you time and allowing you to better serve your clients. For a discount on your first year of Handbook, visit honeybook.com and subscribe with the code Priority Pursuit. 45 minutes a day adds up quickly. Use it to focus on what matters most.
Many small businesses don't have an effective marketing strategy, and because of this, they try one tactic after another without seeing results. This not only prevents consistent business growth, it makes managing marketing efforts more difficult than it should be. As a marketing agency for small businesses, we understand how frustrating it can be when hard work doesn't deliver the results that you want. Because of this, Tree Frog has developed a proven 4-step marketing system that will help any small business grow. On our website, you can also schedule a 30-minute discovery call to discuss working with Tree Frog to build a marketing strategy that will allow your small business to finally see the growth you've been working so hard to achieve. And then which kind of ties into my third book recommendation, which is Profit First by Michalowicz. I don't know how you say his name, but the book's name is Profit First. His system actually happens to be the financial framework that Donald Miller alludes to in his book, How to Grow Your Small Business. So Profit First completely transformed the way that I thought about business finances because the author introduces a simple but powerful cash management system that ensures you are always profitable. And I believe this was a recommendation from my friend Dante Wilburn, who owns Premier Auto Detailing and is a successful serial entrepreneur. And if you know Dante, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you're like me, accounting was my nemesis, but this book helped me gain a better understanding of how to simplify the complexities of small business accounting. But for the record, I absolutely rely on my accountant and recommend that you do the same. But the core principle of this book is to show you how to prioritize profit by allocating a percentage of your income to profit first before paying expenses. And I know this sounds like an oxymoron, but just read the book and I promise you'll understand why the strategies make so much sense. And it will give you a clearer view of your finances to ensure you prioritize profit. Now, the fourth book is Magnetic Marketing by Dan Kennedy. And this book is packed with timeless marketing strategies that work really regardless of any industry changes or what industry that you're actually in. And if you've been in the marketing industry at all, you've heard of Dan Kennedy, but this book was actually a specific recommendation from my friend Mark Dolfini at Strategic Boardroom. And I think he's read about, I don't know, 1 million more books than I have. So maybe we should have Mark on the show sometime and go through all the books that he's read. But anyway, one of the things that I loved about this book is that the strategies and the author lays out, they're really just in line with what we at Tree Frog teach and we do for small businesses every day, like clarifying your messaging to ensure you're talking to the right audience and you're not wasting your time, using sales funnels to delight customers to help them want to work with you, and creating systems that make your life easier, like automated follow-up series and customer gifts and just so much more. So Kennedy's no-nonsense approach to direct response marketing is both practical and effective, which is probably the number one thing that I love about his writing and his systems. This is because at Tree Frog, our marketing coaching and done-for-you flywheel services are also built to be practical and straightforward. So if you are a black and white kind of business owner, this book offers clear strategies that will help you create big wins for your company, including the importance of creating compelling offers and clear calls to action that will help you generate leads and then convert them into loyal paying customers. So last but not least, we have the Client Retention Handbook by Josh Nelson. Now, before we dive into this book, I do want to tell you that it's written specifically for agency owners. However, there are mindsets and systems in this book that every small business can benefit from. I just want you to keep in mind that fact that if you choose to read this one. And I also have to admit that I was actually targeted with an ad on Facebook that convinced me to buy this book. So a plug for right social media marketing, it totally does work. And this is because he did a great job of grabbing my attention, clarifying his messaging, and telling me what I get out of the book, and then telling me what to do. He happened to hit me at the exact right time with the exact right message that I needed because I was looking for ways to enhance our customer experience, i.e. never stop learning, right? So to be fair, this book didn't really offer anything that I didn't already know, but it did outline a system that helps keep clients happy and loyal, which allowed me to talk to my team about ways that we could improve our system. So I love that the author shared actionable tips and real world examples that help improve customer service and increase retention rates. And one of the key takeaways of this book is outlining the importance of communication and setting clear expectations with your clients, which is also one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn the hard way as a business owner. And if you want to dive in and listen to that full story about that specific hard lesson, you can do so at episode 154, How to Set Boundaries and Get Your Clients to Respect Them. And I'll link that in the show notes as well. But following through with strategies from this book has helped Tree Frog maintain a high client retention rate. By proactively communicating and exceeding expectations, we built strong, lasting relationships with our clients. And I've even had clients tell me that those small check-ins and extra efforts made them feel truly valued, which is incredibly rewarding. So the takeaway for you from this book should be to create value-enhancing systems and set clear expectations with your clients really from the beginning, because it will help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both you and your clients are happy and on the same page. So there you have it. My top 5 book recommendations for small business owners. Well, for the time being anyway. I'm pretty sure that we could do about 10 more episodes like this and not even make a dent in the books that Victoria and I have explored. But we'll save that one for another day. Anyway, Each of these book recommendations offer unique insights and practical advice that can really help you grow and sustain your small business. And remember, there are plenty of resources out there to help you find time to explore and read, like Blinkist.com and Audible.com. So you don't really have an excuse not to get started. And I promise your willingness to learn and implement new strategies will make the world of difference in your business and life outside the office. And on that note, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Priority Pursuit podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, we hope you'll take a moment to share it with your small business friends, to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and that you'll join us next week for even more marketing boundary and priority-driven tactics you can use to build a life and small business that you love.